Let's get back to it, my dog. Had to take a little break. Now I want to ask you, back to the question, how do you balance darkness and hope on... No, I ain't even get to... Didn't we get to that? Yeah, how do you balance darkness and hope on this project without getting lost to eat?
How do I balance darkness and hope without getting lost?
Yeah.
I do that by just realizing that I'm neither one. Those are rooms that you travel through, just like a Scooby-Doo hallway. You travel through hope, you travel through darkness. You get through darkness by having hope. You see what I'm saying? But I always keep in my back of my mind that I'm beyond both. Those are just like things we use to describe ourselves. But that's just, we normally use those to describe ourselves to somebody else. When I'm by myself, I'm not thinking of, am I hopeful? Like, that's how I do it. I realize that I'm neither, those are ways to describe myself, but truthfully, ultimately, I'm neither one. I go beyond both, so, that's kind of how I don't stay in this energy too long. I don't stay like, fuck the world too long. I could be like that in the beginning of the day, and by the end of the day, I'm like, it ain't that bad. That's kind of how I do it. I realize that I'm beyond both.
That's a good representation.
And I'm learning to not take my own emotions personally. Emotions is indicators and information. Emotions is data. When you get triggered, that's just information. It's not something you have to apply to yourself, because all you are is that. So you can't, all you are is, that's all you are.
Water.
So it's not really something you have to, this is, I'm an angry person. No, you were just angry because of. And that information that's work for you to look at if you want to do that. So that's kind of how I do it. That's kind of how I don't get lost in it. You know what I'm saying?
That was a good explanation of that, for real. Let me see, what does the song Back in My Body represent within the album, on the album?
Back in My Body, that's the return. That's the return of yourself, You can see the videos on the internet. People like, when you come out of such and such rabbit hole, you go down these thoughts and these rabbit holes just to come back to yourself. So, what's that movie? Wizard of Oz. She go on that journey, but at the end of the day, there's no place like home. So she always end up coming back to herself. So that's what Back in My Body. That's what that song is for the album. I go on this whole journey. I go through Banshee, Hell's Goo is not real. I go through all these things just to come back to myself. Like, okay. I just went through this journey to get a lot of information, a lot of data. Now I'm back in my body. What do I do with it? That's kind of how Back in My Body. That's what it means on the album. It's tying it all over together.
Okay. How you feel now that the album is complete and out?
Now I feel like, man, I could just go. As far as with the music, I could just go now. I ain't gotta, I guess if you would have told me 2 years ago I would even be doing this, that's for other people. That's not for me. But now, now I'm like, okay, I can really just go with this anywhere I want to. Now I can be as creative, I can say, I can do whatever now. That's kind of how I feel. I gave myself, go,
That green light.
Yeah, yep. That's exactly like a green light.
Okay. What do you hope the people that listen to it feel or see it after hearing it traveling front to back, top to bottom?
When they done with the album, I want them I would like them to feel that they go beyond their current state of being. They go beyond their current self. That's what I would like them to see. They can see all these different sides, and then I got a dialogue in between each song. So on the album, it's a guy, who been on this journey, and it's a person who's on the journey first time, and they taking it together. After each tape, the person on the journey come out with questions and realization. Woo woo. The guide is like, chill out. That's kind of what this is. Let's keep going though. Let's keep going. Let's always keep going. So that's kind of the mindset I want a person to come out the album like, man, I'm beyond this current self. I'm beyond this current feeling. I can keep going,
And who do you think you do this for? Who is this album really for?
This album is for the seekers, researchers, people who ask questions, people who are curious just about life, people who ask question of a question of a question.
Go deep. Go
Yeah,
deep.
yeah. You can call them conscious people, spiritual people. There's so many names now, you know. But that type of person, that person who thinks outside the box, you know, people who they want to be them, they self, original. You know, that's who the album is for. You know.
And where are you personally now, creatively, compared to when you started on this project?
Now I'm like, man, you know, I used to be hesitant to put certain things in the music because I'm like, man, I gotta be looking a certain way, be a certain way.
Right.
Fuck that. I ain't doing that no more.
Nope.
No.
None of that.
I ain't doing that no more. So now I'm just sitting with all this information. I'm like, okay, I ain't gotta hold back no more. You know, I don't gotta try to alter myself to be anything. Just let it be what it's gonna be. And that's kind of where I'm at now. Ain't no trends to follow. Ain't no let's do this so we can get on. Like all that is for them people.
So
Yeah, that's over with over here. Like that's dead. This is just if it come out of me, you know, because that's all it is. It's just coming through me. Like it's just coming out of me. So that's kind of where I'm at now. Just whatever it needs to come out, whatever needs to be said, we're gonna do that. Whatever sound about to come, we're gonna make that sound. You know, but we're not trying to be nothing. We ain't trying to look nothing. We're just gonna be ourselves. Yeah.
I like that. Okay, if someone only take one thing away from the traveling, what do you hope it is? What you want them to take from it?
Just always keep in mind that you can go beyond, man. Whatever you're going through right now, whatever you believe in, don't get stuck in that mode. You're a traveler. You're a traveler. So keep traveling.
Yeah.
You know, just keep going. Like you go beyond everything. You go beyond any emotion you're gonna feel, any situation. It's never gonna last. Nothing's gonna last. It's always gonna be temporary. You mad today? Be happy that you're mad. Yes, I'm so happy I'm mad. Go beyond yourself. And that's the thing. You're a traveler. You know, you can go to any planet you want. You know, that's kind of the takeaway. You can go beyond. You can do the work for yourself, and you can become love itself. That's what I said at the beginning of the last song. You can do the work for yourself if you do the work. If you do the work on yourself, then you can become that which you are. And that's the message of the travel.
Okay. Yeah, I want to get back to what we were saying off camera. You feel me? We ain't got to go too deep.
Okay.
But I want them to know what we was talking about as far as the makeup and the juice and all that. What influence it got on you?
So on my song, Back in My Body, I said, Baron Zombie, 10% zombie. Mm-hmm. So people think that the zombies, some people think it's a literal thing because of movies. It's not a literal thing. Everybody's a zombie. Yeah. Everybody has zombie. I say 10% zombie, that's the person who they 90% conscious, 90% spiritual being, 90% aware, and you got 10%. Now some people could be 50% zombie. That's the people who you can tell them, bro, don't be eating that damn burger, and they fucking it up. Then the next week they call you, man, la 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 la. Cuz, why you mad? Because da 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 da. It might look like he mad at his chick. No, he mad because water don't need a burger. So he's a zombie. And it's all of it. We think that we get taken over or something wrong with us. I don't know what's wrong with me. I've just been like this lately. But it's the things you put within your vessel. That's what the song Back in My Body, that's what I said in the song. And you better tighten up before you get back in. This divine A.I, brother, not just skin. So this body is divine. It don't need much. Really, all it needs is light. It needs truth. It needs to be pushed to what it is. But when we putting stuff in here, burgers, pizza, alcohol, and then anything that can alter your state of being, all that has residual effects, even in medicine. So you become a zombie. Brain fog, that's not something that, that person's just slow. He ain't slow. He won't stop smoking. So he always in a dazed state. If he got off of it, he'll get his thinking back. So what I'm saying, they're a zombie. It's not that there's something wrong with them, they're dead, no. They're being hacked, if you want to say that. they're under the influence of something, you know. So it just got me looking at people like, you never know, you don't know who you're talking to. That's all I can say. You know, if you don't know their habits or what they watch, if all they do is eat junk food and doom scroll all day, you can't get mad at them because they stuck on stupid. Because that's what they putting into their AI, and it's just reflecting. It's just reflecting what they put in.
I feel like you gotta give people grace because you was yourself lost. You was yourself had bad habits. You yourself was in a fucked up state. So it's important we extend that same grace to others that we extend to ourselves.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely. You gotta understand what people was at. For sure. For sure.
So yeah, that's what we gonna end it with, man. I just had to I want to get to know that. You feel me? The Travelers EP is out now. Go get that. Tell them where they can find that at. What's your IG? What's your
My
Facebook?
IG is zenz.flow. That's ZENZ.flow. My TikTok is the same, zen.flow. My YouTube is Zenz, ZENZ_flow. All my music is on there. It's on Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I'm always posting on my Instagram, always posting on my TikTok and my YouTube. You know, so if you want to listen to it in your own personal time, then that's where you can find it. But you know, if you really in Indianapolis like that and be outside, you can find me outside performing. That's normally what I'll do once the weather breaks. You know, right here in Fountain Square. You know, for sure. Open mics, all that.
Straight like that.
Yep. Hell yeah.